say this committee is really interesting. I learn about all types of things and people studying the brains. I think we're going to hear about flying cars sometime soon, which is exciting. I'm from Arizona, and the issues that are really big in my district, which are the suburbs of Phoenix mostly, are actually national security and border security. And we have two border ports of entry connecting Mexico and Arizona. And I have the Luke Air Force Base in my congressional district. And so I was wondering if you had any ideas how machine learning, artificial intelligence are being used in border security and national security. If you have any thoughts.
Well, I can say, generally speaking, that in national security, like in science, you're often looking for some signal, some pattern in very noisy data. So whether you're looking at telephones or you're looking at some other kind of collected information, you are looking for patterns, and machine learning is certainly used in that. I think probably, I'm not aware in border security of current applications of machine learning. I would think that things like face recognition software would probably be useful there, and I just don't know of the current applications.
So I know some of the colleagues at our research center are exploring things like security, using facial recognition, but trying to take it a step further. So using principles of machine learning, et cetera, trying to detect the intent of a person. So they'll use computer vision, they'll watch a group of individuals, but try to make inferences about the intent of what that group is doing. Is there something going to happen? Who's in charge of this group? What are they trying to do? So, and they're working with the Department of Defense on many of these applications. And I think there's going to be tremendous breakthroughs where artificial intelligence and machine learning are going to help us understand, not only recognize people, but also trying now to recognize the intent of what that person is trying to do.
And you mentioned an Air Force base. So something that maybe not everybody is aware of is that the military operates very old vehicles, and they have to repair and replace a lot. And that means that manufacturing is not just a matter of delivering a new aircraft. It's also a matter of how you keep old aircraft going. I mean, think of the B-52s and how old they are. And so there are very important defense applications for machine learning, for manufacturing, and manufacturing in the repair and replace sense. And again, when you're running old vehicles, you're very concerned about outliers, which hasn't come up very much so far today. But taking data and recognizing where you've got a case that's just not in the cloud, it's not in with everybody else, and figuring out what that means and how you're going to deal with it.
Anyone else? One person left.
Of course, yes, it's me. So, of course, my work doesn't deal directly with either border security or national security, but just to echo one other sentiment, one of the things I'm interested in is that as our cameras get faster, as instead of taking 30 shots per second, we can now take 60 shots per second, 90 shots per second, 120 frames per second usually, and you start watching people's facial features as they're just engaging in normal life. It turns out that we produce a lot of microfacial features that happen so fast and so quick that they often aren't detected consciously by each other, but convey a tremendous amount of information about things like intent and et cetera. I suspect that as our technology, as our cameras get better, and of course, if you take 120 pictures in a second versus 30 pictures in a second, that's already 4 times more data that you're collecting per second. If we can deal with the data and get better cameras, we will actually be making inferences about intentions sooner rather than later.
Very interesting. I'm glad that you all work in these different fields, and I yield back my time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, ma'am.